So otitis can range anywhere from otitis externa to otitis interna, similar to what we would end up seeing for dogs. The clinical signs of otitis externa are going to be very similar as what you would expect in dogs, with kind of a couple of exceptions. Owners may not end up seeing the pruritus that we kind of expect to see from dogs, and then also the head shaking that we tend to associate with otitis as well in dogs. Neither of those seem to be as common in our rabbit patients. When we move from otitis externa to otitis interna, then the clinical signs are fairly similar. So you can see nystagmus, again, you can see head tilt, ataxia, and then those kind of more extreme clinical signs with torticollis and rolling as well that can be distressing to owners. So when we start to talk about etiologic agents that are involved with otitis, there have been some bacterial pathogens that have been implicated. So Pasteurella is going to be one of those. And then one difference is, unlike in dogs, otitis interna doesn't often kind of end up being a secondary issue to otitis externa. So often when we're talking about dogs, we think of that kind of migrating from kind of otitis externa, breaking through the tympanic membrane, going to otitis media, and then eventually resulting in interna. And in our rabbits, oftentimes it actually results from an upper respiratory tract issue. So it goes from the upper respiratory tract, goes through the eustachian tubes, and then travels to the inner ear that way. So for us, that is just kind of one important distinction to make, because you may end up seeing a quite clear ear on your physical exam. And then once you kind of start looking in with your diagnostic testing, you realize that there's no otitis externa, and instead it's just in the middle, plus or minus the inner ear. And then as far as breeds of rabbits, so kind of similar to our dogs, that we have certain breeds that we think of when we start to talk about kind of otitis.